Mic check.
Yeah, they can. Mic check. The volume's good.
Yeah. Singing.
You wipe the screen.
Well, let's check Instagram.
It's pretty
Let's
clean. What was it you wanted to show me? Oh, what's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing today? Thank you all for joining us tonight. And tonight's topic: why do I keep attracting cheating men? I think this is a very interesting topic for those, for especially women,
Of course.
who are in the dating game and need to get some clarification on what is going on. Especially those, like I said, those dating women out there. So we can go ahead and dive in, and we have a letter from
a great question. Yep.
All right.
A quick disclaimer: we did want to say that not every man cheats, so definitely don't.
Well, I always say that men don't cheat. Real men don't cheat, and boys do. So there's a big line to separate a boy from a man, and that has to do a lot with ideology and morals and ethics and maturity, of course.
Yes.
So you can have a 40-year-old boy that's out here, and a lot of them are out there, especially a lot of men who are raised without fathers. So we don't get to see that glimpse of what it really takes to be a man. And unfortunately, due to single parent households, we have a lot of men boys that are out there. So we have to be very careful, women included, in how to look for these red flags. And what does this mean? So,
and in particular with this young lady, why you keep attracting them, right? Like, because there's a reason. So let's just dive right on into our question. That, of course, Instagram viewers, you are welcome to join us on YouTube to check out the question and graphics on screen. Right?
Right.
We always say that.
Yeah, it is a high definition experience, so you can hear the audio clear and see the video clear as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So
let's get on into it. Okay. So, subject: why do I keep attracting cheating men? My ex cheated on me, and I always find men who are already taken, in person or online. It doesn't matter. Men my type, men who aren't. My friends keep saying, how is this happening to you? More than 50% of my matches, I don't understand. How am I ever supposed to have hope that there's good guys out there when this is all that's around me? It's discouraging. Any advice? Short and sweet, to the point, of course.
Yeah, I have advice.
Yeah. Do we?
I mean, this is an easy question. So, in her case, if she keeps running into these type of guys who are already taken, guys who are already um with somebody who in a committed relationship, that needs to be the first question that she asks, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And meeting somebody before online or texting or whatever
Right.
the case may be.
Right.
She needs to be very selective.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, that maybe she is, because she's not necessarily saying she's dating them, but
she's just meeting them.
Yeah,
so
and she finds out like,
she needs to hold the intentions of actually wanting to find a man, of course,
and
that's
the
what she's doing.
reasoning why. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
And but that is common. I mean, if she's on dating websites, to be honest with you, there's a lot of people out there who are already taken, and they're dealing with somebody
in real life.
Yeah. And like, what was this? The stat is that for women, they're dealing with 2 men, and for men, they're dealing with 5 or 8 women on dating websites. That's the reason why, it's harder. I think it's harder to actually find people on dating websites with the intention of actually being in a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's so true.
A long-term relationship.
Yeah. But in particular, because this is so, I love general questions like this, because it allows us the opportunity to dive into overall general reasons explore reasons why this is happening, and then allow you to figure out where it relates, basically, because that's pretty much all we could really do in this point. But don't be discouraged. And I always like to challenge discouragement with a little bit of a statistic, some logic, some facts.
Well, yeah. But I mean, before that though, I know that we don't have the actual girl here who wrote this question, but what is it that you're doing, or what is it that you're not doing in your relationships that will drive your man to cheat?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about some of those things as well.
Yes.
Because
definitely.
if you're always running into a cheater, and you're in a relationship with a cheater, and you're choosing these people, there's probably some red flags at first that you're missing. And then also too, there may be some things that you're not doing that cause these men to want to be entertained elsewhere.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead with the show and see what statistics and tips we can provide for those people who are out there.
Yeah. So just statistically, according to a study, go ahead.
Well, for the viewers who are out there, by any means, if you all have any comments or questions, please, you're more than welcome to state those during the show. You're more than welcome to call in live with us as well. This is a live show, so if you all have issues or any questions that you all want us to explore, then you're more than welcome to throw that out there, and we will be able to respond accordingly for you. So so hopefully you will enjoy this show as well.
So the American Psychological Association found that about 20% of men and 13% of women cheated on their partners at some point in their lives. So that was interesting study to find, because that had actually included not just married people, but people that are in long-term relationships. So that's a pretty cool study.
Yeah, that's pretty, it's not high up there. It's not like, 50%.
Right. So that's encouraging, right?
Right. So not everybody cheat. So how much men?
Right.
How much men?
20%.
20% and 30% of women cheat.
Yeah.
On their partners at some point in their lives.
Yeah. And another study by the National Opinion Research Center found that 15% of men and 10% of women had cheated on their partners in the past year. So within a year time, whenever I think the study came out in 2022, the National Opinion Research Center. So that one was even better, 15%, 10%. And really in particular, not saying that it's, better, because it's never good to do something dishonest like cheating. So that's not what I'm saying. But certainly just overall, it shows not to be discouraged, because although this young lady keeps running into men who just so happen to be in a relationship, that shows that not all men out here are doing this. So you don't have to really focus your attention so much on the men, and try to look within and really see where this attraction can be coming from. And we're going to definitely dig into that. But one more study that I found suggests that men are slightly more likely to cheat than women, but the difference was not so significant.
Wow.
And that these were just averages with a lot of variation within the gender. Like some men are definitely, I guess, a little more apt to cheat because of having more risk-taking behaviors, being more exploratory, just going out. That's just kind of one of the main reasons why they thought men in particular more so than women would cheat. But again, this can apply for both men and women. So all this advice that we give tonight can definitely apply for a man as well too, if he keeps attracting women who just already dating somebody else, and you over here trying to level up or something like that, upgrade or something, so yeah.
And people with a strong sense of morals and ethics are more likely to behave in a way that is fair, honest, and respectful to of others in their relationship. So they are also more likely to feel guilty or ashamed if they do something wrong. So they aren't likely to cheat, of course. So those are the people that you need to be looking for.
Yeah.
People with some high morals, high ethics, and loyalty.
Right.
Trustworthiness.
Yeah, and those are the people that are going to be in good, solid marriages and relationships too. Yeah.
Right. Those are the long-term people that you need to look for.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Because on the other hand, people with a weak sense of morals and ethics are definitely more likely to behave in ways that are selfish and dishonest. And, that will include cheating because,
and who are disrespectful. Those are characteristics of immature people. So if you're running across someone who likes to, just acts immature a lot, and that is a red flag of someone who possibly may cheat on you.
Yeah, and even because they're impulsive too, very impulsive, and then also having like low self-esteem. But there are many, many reasons why a woman might keep attracting a cheater, believe it or not. And honestly, what I have personally, when I had to sit back and think about this, I really would think it relates a lot more to inner core beliefs and what you are holding within, that is being projected on the outside and often going to be brought back to you in the form of maybe another energetic vibration of somebody similar. So for example, cheaters often are shown to have low self-esteem. So you really have to maybe sit back and analyze whether or not you might have low self-esteem, because women with low self-esteem are more likely to attract men who are also insecure and are looking for someone to control. So in that sense, they are able to recognize that you probably have some low self-esteem and then want to take advantage of that, and self-esteem is directly related to the core beliefs that a woman has about herself,
Right. Yeah. The players out there, those players out there, they look to take advantage of, women and whatnot. So I can see that where that may come into play, where there is an opportunity for them to try to control women, which isn't right.
Hold on. Our sweet baby boy woke up.
So self-esteem is directly related to some core beliefs, like my wife was saying, and that women can attract cheating men. So be mindful of your self-esteem, and because that can give, like my wife said, give that vibration off of someone who can be taken advantage of. So we all have to review ourselves periodically and understand that we have to keep our guards up, of course, and protect ourselves and make sure that we see the red flags in the people that we're courting or dating, and making sure that their ideals and their ideology align with what we are about, those core beliefs. And so, for example, so if a woman believes that she is not good enough, of course, she may be more likely to be attracted to men who are unavailable, or who has a history of cheating. So if you're struggling to attract healthy partners, it may be helpful to examine your core beliefs about relationships. And we see that a lot with younger girls
Yeah.
who are taken advantage of by older guys. It's because, these younger women are trying to create their own identity, trying to figure out who they are and build their own confidence. Or either sometimes they come from broken homes. So a lot of us come from broken homes. And so therefore, whether we know it or not, we're able to be manipulated by other people, and especially if you've grown and was raised in an abusive household.
Yeah.
So you're maybe more susceptible than other people who were raised by both of their parents.
Yeah. Mainly because also too, your parents are the ones who are going to, in a way, instill those inner beliefs and thoughts into your
Those
mind.
core values.
Right. So if you don't have anyone who is telling you you're beautiful, telling you you're great, telling you you're confident, you're a great guy, a great girl, giving you that self-esteem that you need, you can really, in a way, when somebody else,
fall victim to someone else.
when someone else does that for you, which a person who is looking to take advantage of a situation by cheating, they're going to want somebody who is, wanting that extra attention that they're willing to give in a way. So, yeah, that is certainly one thing that you really have to take into consideration. Also, too, you have to pay attention to the messages that you are sending yourself about what you deserve in a relationship. So that's really going to be related to your core inner beliefs as well. If you, once again, think that, oh, all men cheat, or, oh, I can never find, a good man, or whatever, if you have those negative thoughts within your mind, then, that's going to create a pattern within your mind and ultimately within your life that's going to manifest, because our inner reality really does create our outer reality. So if you're noticing a lot of patterns, you really just have to pay attention. What are the patterns of thought that I'm having in my head that really do need to be addressed? Yeah. And then also, we always go into this when addressing, those challenging your negative opinions or thoughts in your head. Really just ask yourself, is this true? Is this something? Is there any facts to back it up? Is this, true for all people? Is there some evidence that this isn't true? Is there evidence and that's why I really like to point out in the beginning about the statistics that, only 20% of, from that one study was 20% of men, the other one found 15% of men actually are out here cheating. So there's no possible way that every man that you have come in contact with is a cheater. You know what I'm saying? So it just helps you to challenge that within your thought, logically, it's probably not true. So let that give you some hope. Don't let that discourage you. Instead, let it help you be able to reach for another positive thought. Okay, if this is the case, then, what's something positive you can, change that with, and maybe I can start, I don't know, going to different places to look for men. It's just going to allow you the opportunity to then search and reach for better feeling thoughts, more positive beliefs to replace them with.
I mean, because to be honest with you, you may be attracted to a certain type of man who is no good for you.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and then it's not the fact that you're attracting these men, is actually those are the guys that you're picking. That's the bottom line, and that happens a lot dealing with men and women. The bad boy or whatever the case may be, that type of personality. Women find that attractive. The reason why you do, because it comes off as like an alpha male.
Yeah,
but realistic, right? Aggressive and all that.
A leader, yeah.
Right. But realistically, all it is just a big boy that's very selfish and they want their way.
Yeah.
And you have to you have to take the accountability of you yourself, of choosing, making sure you choose the right people, to spend your time with.
Yeah.
Instead of these people who don't mean no good to you.
Right. Exactly. Also, too, another factor to consider is if a woman, or in particular, like this woman who asked, if you had been cheated on in the past. And this is something that the woman said, in fact, had happened to her. So again, because of having that experience, naturally, there's common beliefs and, in a way, survival mechanisms that the brain and all people can pick up on when you're in those type of situations. So this can develop an unconscious pattern of thought, again, within your mind, that's going to make you more attractive to men who are more likely to take advantage of you because you had already been in a situation where it occurred. And you may not have recognized what caused that situation. Now, again, when I say cause, I'm not saying that the woman is in particular the reason why the man cheated. I think that's a slippery slope to kind of go down because, again, it goes down to morals and ethics. But if you're married in particular, it's certainly ways that you can prevent your man from cheating. And those are the things that you are supposed to do to keep your man, in your relationship happy, fulfilling, and satisfied. But that's a totally different topic. But this one in particular, for example, some men are attracted to certain behaviors that just come off as like being more likely to be receptive to an affair or allowing them to cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, believe it or not, being emotionally unavailable. This is a big target for men who aren't looking to be available to you anyway, because you're emotionally unavailable to them. So although you can harden up and get that shell because you had a man cheat on you, you had a man take advantage of you, just that simple experience in a way allows you to be, put you in a place where you became emotionally unavailable. So then you're not able in a way to dive into those questions. I think you mentioned a little bit more about that earlier, but dive into those questions that you need to ask because you're more guarded and like, I'm not looking for nothing serious.
Right. Yeah. And then in all actuality, that really isn't the case. You really are looking for something serious. You're just not, like my wife said, you're not caring enough to ask those right questions. You're struck in fear, thinking that this relationship is going to end in some sort of separation anyway.
Right. So, exactly. Yep. And this can, again, be very appealing to a man who is already in a relationship because he ain't looking for something serious either. So
right.
That's just, kind of how it goes.
You all are just, friends with benefits. A side chick and a side man.
Yeah, if you allow that to, go. But I also think women who go along and keep getting, deeper and deeper into that sets us right up to our next point is about setting boundaries, because women who have a hard time setting that boundary are far more likely to attract cheaters.
Yes.
Like, that's just the point of the matter. You have to be assertive. If there's any time where I need a woman to be assertive, it's mainly being able to set that boundary and saying, no, I'm not dealing with a man who does anything like this, because once you have, in a way, allowed the universe to go ahead and bring you something like that and you accepted it, then you're making it clear that you're not interested in a deep, serious relationship with the man because you're over here involved with a man who ain't interested in a deep, serious relationship with you.
Yeah, the intentions have to align with the outcome. So if women, so if you are wanting to date a man and want to one day be married, those are some of the early questions that you need to ask in the beginning while you all are first dating. And I would say within the first month, of course, you need to ask this person around the second or third date, do you plan on being married one day?
Right.
And then, after 3 months, could you see someone like me? Could you marry someone like me?
Yeah.
Could you see yourself with someone like me?
Yeah.
And then that way you understand, and then hopefully they will know that, okay, you're trying to take this somewhere as opposed to something that's casual.
Right.
So that is where you will get a lot of clarity as far as where you are going in this, this early relationship. So you don't have to fall victim to someone who could possibly be a cheater.
Right. Exactly.
Yep, that's dropping jewels right there. But at the same token, Instagram viewers, if you all want a better viewing experience, you may also subscribe to our YouTube, where everything is in HD, the audio and also the video as well. So we really appreciate your support. And also too, if you all have any questions or comments during the show, we're readily available to attack those once you all put it up there. So it's also, if you would like to call in, you can do so as well. And then also video chat, you're more than welcome.
Yep, for sure. So another one that I thought about for boundary wise is, for example, like a woman, if she is super friendly and super flirty with a man who is in a relationship, he may actually take this and interpret that behavior like a sign of interest. And this is actually going to be coming off like more like you're accepting behavior like that when, that's not acceptable in a healthy relationship. Now, there's a distinct difference between being friendly and being like overly available to a man who is in a relationship. You have to make sure that you're setting that boundary, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where a man who is in a relationship might, is more likely to cross that boundary with you because he's starting to see you as a potential, partner or, whatever. So just really making sure that that's another boundary that you have to be sure to set if you ask those questions like from the beginning. So yeah. Also too, inappropriate comments. If a guy says inappropriate comments and he's in a relationship and you know that you've come to find out that he's in a relationship, we're going to go through some of them, the tips of really being able to recognize if a guy is probably hiding something and he is in a relationship. We'll get into that in a little bit. But in particular, if you are accepting to those flirty, inappropriate comments and stuff like that, then that also is giving off the energy that, hey, you're accepting of a man doing those unacceptable behaviors in a healthy relationship. And unconsciously, this is unconscious. Consciously, you're like, oh no, I would never. But unconsciously, your behavior is giving approval to that type
condoning. You're condoning soft cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a form of soft cheating, that flirting with that married man, and that man is at work with you. And whatnot. But I think, to be honest with you, teleworking and a lot of that YouTube movement has done away with that bro culture. You would see that a lot of times in the bro culture at work. The man culture at work and whatnot, that used to go on a lot back in like the 80s and 70s, or early 90s and early 2000s. But so that is a sign of soft cheating. So
so another one, kind of trying to figure out again, why do you keep attracting cheating men, is to maybe pay attention to if you in a way are needy for validation. So if you are looking for, and we kind of hit on this before, but if it kind of goes right along with self-esteem, if you need some type of validation and you are seeking that, then, and often very accepting of that from any kind of case or whatever the case may be, whatever man, this can kind of give off like the affirmation and the attention that, I love that attention and I love that type of affection from a man like that. And in particular, you're more likely to attract a cheater because he's, again, going to be wanting to give that extra attention to somebody that's easy for it, really easy to take it and won't mind or in a way condone the affair, because that's, what you're doing. And in a way, if you aren't able to, again, challenge the man's behavior because, again, you're seeking that validation, it can really kind of in a way show that you're afraid of losing that attention. And in a way, you're looking for more approval. So that's certainly one thing you have to be aware of if you have any attention seeking behaviors, or if you're needing validation, like if you looking for that and you need that and you crave that, that's something to really pay attention to. Because again, you'll be more susceptible to having those people come your way, or even just pay attention to it because, again, you're looking for that attention and stuff. So,
right.
Yep.
I mean, that goes beyond just, conversation, the way you dress, the way you present yourself. Just be mindful of that, because you could be trying to gain the attention of the wrong type of men.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality of the situation. So,
yep, that's so true. So, let's see, what was the next one? Another one, she kind of mentioned that she, in this comment and in the question in particular, that some of the men she was attracted to, some of the men she were not attracted to, but subconsciously, chances are you might have some type of attraction for men who are unavailable. This is something to consider. If deep down inside you like the fact that this man is already in a relationship, and maybe even you could see it as a challenge of winning them over, like I don't know, maybe you're afraid of commitment and you already know that this man is committed. That's just another inner core self-belief that you got to pay attention to.
I mean, to go along with that, you see that a lot, and I've heard this from friends, men with their children in grocery stores. And then women who are single, they love to see that. Mm-hmm. And then, probably trying to see themselves with that man and those kids. Mm-hmm. Women love to see a man taking care of his home, taking care of his household, and they find that attractive. Mm-hmm. And so those women who are looking and, desperately wanting to find somebody may think that they can get this man away from his home. Mm-hmm. So you have to also be conscious of that type of ideology. If that person is you, if you're that type of woman who who fetishizes about married men and men who are taking care of their kids. You need to make sure that you get help about that. Get help about that, because you're going about this whole relationship the wrong way. Now you're supposed to be here to break up homes. Right. So don't break up happy homes.
Yeah. And in particular, I really thought about that because on a deeper metaphysical level, if you are visualizing yourself with a married man, the man that's already married, then in a way you're thought projecting out that type of situation. So, I mean, chances are it could come true. It could manifest in some form to where you fall in love with a married man, that same man that had them 3 kids, that girl, whatever. Like, it's just how it goes. So really be super careful with the thoughts in your mind and how you go about thinking and visualizing. Now, I'm not saying like you can't say, oh, this is beautiful, but leave it at that. You know what I mean? Kind of be like, oh, I'm excited for that one day, for having a family of my own one day. Leave your thoughts, direct your thoughts in a way that's going to affirm it happening for you, and not so much you directly being in, that situation per se, because everybody's relationship is going to be different. Your marriage is going to look different from anybody else. Everybody's situation is super unique. So don't limit it to just saying what you see and you think that has to be, or you start fantasizing, fetishizing, whatever, that's how it has to look, because you don't really know. So, hold that. Instead, just have those thoughts of, I'm excited of this happening for me too. That's a beautiful thing. And, I like seeing that, you love type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what else. That's pretty much it for the main part of why, right? So we dove into the why, and then we're definitely going to go into what to do about it, because we're not going to leave you here. It's definitely now that you have figured out what's going on. Hopefully something has resonated with you in what we have said. If you're struggling with this issue, and you're able to then be able to move on to what we're looking at as addressing it, because ultimately, if you keep attracting cheating men or men who are already in a relationship, it's important that you do some type of soul searching to figure out why this is happening. And once you then understand those reasons, you can start to really break that cycle, and then to start attract healthier partners into your life, because that's really what you want.
I mean, because to be honest with you, like, there are people out there who love the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
There are people out there who, are in the wrong mental mindset of how relationships are supposed to work. And they're more so, they get that dopamine hit whenever they can get that attention from that person that they're not supposed to be trying to entertain. A man who's already secured by a wife and a family. So there are situations where women are trying to make a man cheat, or vice versa. A man that's making a married woman cheat. I've heard of that multiple times as well.
Yeah.
So that isn't something that isn't, morally good.
Right.
That's the bottom line of it. So.
Right. And that's why we went over that in the beginning. It's really down to morals, ethics. A lot of it, again, goes into some people, like you said, are risk takers, or they're very opportunistic,
or either they're just addicted to,
right, addiction.
Trying to get people to manipulate people.
Right. Yep. That is so true. So, I mean, after, again, all those reasons of why, it's important that you start to break in this cycle. And first, that's to start by learning to recognize those red flags. So there are certainly signs that, show a man or woman, this can apply to a man or a woman, truth be told, everything that we said can. This can really apply. So you have to make sure that when you see these signs, you run. You get out of there. You say, I'm not doing this. You set those boundaries. You stand firm on this. You be like, I ain't entertaining this. I don't know what's going on. Those are those signs that you really got to pay attention to. So then, like this young lady said, I mean, at least she's not engaging and going further. She's finding out that these guys are, somehow through the mix, that they're in a relationship. So it's great that you're able to find this out, because that's super important. The first one is, if you're in the company of a guy, pay attention to his body language. If he's like constantly looking over his shoulder, like somebody, he looking, dodging from somebody, he checking his phone, he's trying to avoid somebody keep blowing up his phone, he's eye fidgety, he's fidgety, he can't make eye contact with you. All of that is signs of guilt. Pay attention to those body languages. Don't be so
Don't be naive.
Yeah, or mesmerized by some good looks or something like that. Like, you really make sure you pay attention to that body language and see if he's sending off any signals that shows he's not really directly interested in you, and he may have some guilt if he is, showing or acting on that interest if he is. Yeah.
Yep. Of course, ask him if he's married or if he's taken.
Yeah.
So, you need to know his relationship status.
Yeah.
Even though you met this person on a dating website, sometimes they can still be in a committed relationship with someone. This may seem straightforward, but it is important to be very direct when you ask the intentions of the person, whether they're in a committed relationship or not.
Yeah.
If he is hesitant to answer or give you a vague answer, it could be a sign that he is not being honest. So, in the case that this guy has a girlfriend, understand that, especially if he's not engaged, this man may be trying to weigh out his options, to be honest with you. So that you have to use your own judgment whether or not you still want to entertain this man. I always say that a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship is an audition towards marriage. And that is one of you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So he may not be, and if he give you an honest answer, well, I have a girlfriend now, but I feel like it's not going anywhere.
Right.
Then that may be a way for you to actually hang around and see where your relationship may go with him.
Ask more questions.
And ask more questions. Be cautious. Don't be ignorant to the red flags. Still, because I understand that women, you all are out here competing for men.
Yeah.
And men, some men are actually, competing for women, but
yeah,
men on average have more access to women than women have access to men. So, you do have to be cautious out there, and then sometimes those relationships work out. You may win the dating game with that guy, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
We're not saying necessarily that you just have to tell all these men no.
Right.
But you have to take the consideration in your hands whether you're going to want to entertain this situation or not if he has a girlfriend. So you have to really figure out what his relationship status is really like, and if he's telling the truth and being honest. Because if he's not, then how is he going to be honest and truthful in the relationship if he does decide to pick you?
Right.
So that's something that you have to be very wary and cautious about.
Yeah, that is a great point, because you're right. A boyfriend and girlfriend you're not 100%, committed.
Right.
It's not that commitment.
There's no rings on fingers, no promises or what have you. So
yeah, but I would just put the disclaimer of asking those questions and being super vigilant to pay attention to if this guy is even really telling you the truth, in the sense of he's saying if he likes you, he meets you, and he realizes after about a month that he really likes you, then he should drop old girl. Like, don't waste too long to, be naive and thinking, oh, he's still weighing his decision. No, baby. If he really like you, it's not going to take that long for him to drop that other girl and go ahead and, y'all do your thing. And then that's where you really then are able to move forward in your next part of your relationship. Don't be a side chick. Don't be hanging in the, wing as runner up. Like, don't be doing all of that. Like, you really have to. And then men too, that's super important for men too. Just
right, because the game is different for men. A lot of times we may find women who we think that like us, and all actuality, all of a sudden they start asking for money. So you may be dating a woman 6 months from now, and then all of a sudden she needs bills paid. So if she's doing that to you, more than likely she's talking to someone else and getting her bills paid by someone else as well. So men can't ignore these red flags. We also need to be straightforward and direct when we approach the question of, are you dealing with somebody, or how serious are you with the other person? What do you all do? You're looking for honesty. That's what you're trying to build a relationship. So if they're denying all of this and denying access to answer these questions, you may need to look the other way and try to find someone else who's really single and not dating anyone else.
Yes.
So
that is so true.
To save yourself some sort of heartbreak.
Yeah. Also, too, an easy one, check social media. So if he's in a relationship, chances are he may post pictures. Women, I don't know if women may do the same too, especially, more so I would think so if they're really in a relationship, but I don't know if a woman would be posting pictures and cheating at the same time. If not, she is really a risk taker.
Right.
But great.
I got an extra a jewel to drop here.
Uh-huh.
So if you all are actually in a relationship and your boyfriend and girlfriend, but you all don't have any pictures together, more than likely he's cheating on you, or either vice versa, the girl cheating on you. So I'm
Well,
just being honest.
how long do you think before the whole posting on social media? And we come in the age where social media, we got together in the age social media didn't really matter like that.
Well, I mean,
like,
for that timeline that we had put in a previous video as far as relationships go, so we have a relationship timeline that we had established in the previous video. There was a great video. You all should go out there and look for it. But I would say at around the 6 months time, you all should be taking some pictures and of your dates and you all going out and enjoying each other's company.
Mm-hmm.
That will help you all to figure out whether or not that person is really single.
Mm-hmm.
And then tag that person in those pictures, because that's when you're gonna find out all the girlfriends or all the boyfriends that the girl has, or either the girlfriends that the man has.
Yeah,
they're gonna see all of this, and they're gonna be in your DMs asking you, "What are you doing with my man?" And then that man is gonna have to answer that.
Yeah,
that is the way to figure all of that out too, as well. Yeah. Timing is everything as far as relationships go.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be very weird for you to just meet somebody on the first date, start taking pictures, and then start tagging names. If you're that adventurous and you want all the smoke, by all means do that and see what happens, because that's very interesting. If that for that girl, that would be my advice to her. If she's 100% saying that every man that I come across is a cheater and they already have somebody, then I would challenge her on the first date, take a quick picture and then get his Instagram handle or Facebook handle or whatever the case may be, and tag that picture, and then see how many women hit her up asking her, "What are you doing with my man?"
I think this is going to apply for men too, though. Truth be told, because if a woman has a lot of, she's weighing her options, she may have a whole bunch of options, or she's just not really being honest about the whole thing. Same thing can get caught up too.
Right, and then also she has men that are, that she's supposed to be dating, but she's getting money from these men.
Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna be pissed off if they find out that she's going on dates with somebody else. And I just gave her three, and I just paid her, phone bill last week, and she told me she liked it. I'm being honest with you. And then that's when the dude gonna get the email. Hey man, that she, I paid her phone bill last week. And then that's the friend zone guy. So we also have a friend zone video too that you all probably want to watch. We gave some good advice there too. If you're that guy who's paying bills and not getting anything in return, you may want to watch that video to know whether or not you're in a friend zone or if your relationship is going to go anywhere. Right. I'm sorry, but I digress. But I had to put that out there.
Those are great points.
Right.
Very much so. As always, I am big on your connecting you with your inside, your inner self, that higher self. So trust your gut. In those instances, if you have some inkling, like, you meet a guy, and again, you took our advice, you looking at his, how he's coming off, his demeanor, his body language, and all this other stuff, but you're not quite sure about social media and all these other things. I mean, really follow your gut and listen to your intuition. If it's coming off sketchy, same thing for men. If the woman is coming off a little sketchy, your intuition may be picking up on something that you consciously are not aware of. If your stomach start hurting in the middle of that date, I'm just kidding. But seriously though, like, really trust your inner gut and understand that, hey, sometimes you might be picking up on something that, hey, this guy or this girl is not really being honest, and I don't know if I should be going further in this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our wonderful tips on what to do, right? So, of course, all of this, like we were talking about, when it comes to your inner core beliefs, you have to work on having a balanced self-esteem. So one of the best ways to protect yourself from attracting a cheater or even being cheated on is to really learn to have that balanced, I call it your whole self-esteem, right? So you're completely aware of your strengths. You're completely aware of the things you need to improve on, the things you need to work on, and you are and all awareness of these things so that then you can love yourself no matter what, how you're working on these things. Have that self-esteem to where you don't need that validation. You know the things you need to work on, but you're not having judgment about it. You're doing something about it, but you're not judging yourself. You're loving yourself. You're understanding that you are doing the things that make you feel good about yourself, so that way you don't need anyone to give you some added validation. You're not going out in a way giving off a desperate attention seeking kind of energy. You're not doing any of that because you've really taken the time to find that love for yourself. Please do this. Boost your self-esteem. Not saying being cocky. It's a difference between having confidence and being cocky. So just really have that whole 360 balanced self-esteem, because that's really going to help you to be more confident and aware of the good qualities that you have and aware of the bad ones, so that maybe even you can recognize them in somebody else, especially if, for example, you cheated before and what this looked like because you was in that situation. Be aware of those things. Use that to your advantage, not to keep doing it, but to be able to first recognize it and then to be able to recognize it in other people so it doesn't happen to you as well. So, yeah.
Yep. And also to set boundaries. Learn to say no to things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You don't have to put up with people who are cheaters, or if you have the feeling of someone cheating on you.
Yeah.
Because you need to protect yourself, of course. And then you need to be with a person who is willing to be in a relationship with you and give you all of the respect that you deserve. So, for example, if a woman is always available to talk to or hang out with a man who is in a relationship, he may start to see her as a potential romantic partner.
Yeah.
Or if a woman is always the one to initiate contact with a man, or if she is always willing to drop everything to see him, he may start to think that she is more interested in him than she really is.
Yeah. That goes right back to what we were talking about earlier, just not being unconsciously accepting of behaviors and that you don't want within yourself. So
Right.
just really having those boundaries for yourself, setting them up and knowing like,
Right.
nah, I ain't not doing that.
I wanted to throw this out here too, is that we can't change people. No matter how much we think, how powerful we think we are as far as our attitudes and our looks and things like that. We don't have the power to change people.
Right.
We only have the power to inspire change in people.
Yeah.
We can sit up here and tell you all day not to mess with people who are cheating. But if it's in you that you don't have the self-discipline to do that, then you're going to go mess with cheating people anyway. People who cheat, and you're going to get burned because they mess around and cheat on you. And then we're going to tell you we told you so. So just remember that you can't change people. You can only inspire change in people.
Yeah.
And then, and then you take it from there. So understand that.
Yeah. And also, if you don't set up those boundaries for yourself, a man is more likely going to, if he does get in a relationship with you, like my husband was saying, he is still going to probably cross those boundaries with you anyway, because you didn't have those ethics set up from jump.
Yeah, all that open relationship stuff that y'all have made to talk about in the beginning. You're like, well, damn, I thought we were still in there.
Right.
What happened to the open relationship? When did we close the open? When this became a closed relationship?
Right. Exactly.
So you really need to establish those intentions. Stop having these open relationships. What the hell is an open? It's not a relationship. You all are just friends with benefits. Y'all are side chicks. Both of y'all, the man and the woman. Both of y'all. That's what that really is. So, set those boundaries.
Yep. And as always, get help if you need it. Get a coach, get a mentor, get a professional therapist, get a team of people who can help support you and keep you focused on, building up your morals, your ethics, your principles, your inner self-beliefs, especially if you had a history of somebody cheating on you, especially if you were traumatized by that. You never know the inner core beliefs that you may have adopted for yourself. And sometimes you need somebody else to pick up on them for you. So that's the cool thing about when you go out and you have that professional help, because then the person is able to hear what you're saying and regurgitate it back to you so that maybe you can recognize, why did I say it like that?
Right. Or either you may find out that you actually have issues that are actually attracting
Yeah.
This attention.
Right. Yeah.
So, those are things that you really need a third party in order to invest their time into you to let you know. But also, too,
Yeah.
you have to be receptive to this information and
Yeah.
wanting to really find a resolution
Yeah.
to solve the problem.
Yep. And do the work. That's
Right.
super important. So whether you decide to schedule a consultation with us or work with another coach or another therapist, just make sure that you are working on setting up whatever kind of boundaries you need to do. Allow them to help you do that. Allow them to help you just really work on healthier ways of going about finding relationships. Just really go out and make sure that this team of people within, whether it's your family, maybe it's a close friend or whatever, just really make sure that you are all on the same accord of recognizing how you can stop and break this cycle. Don't just, talk about problems, actually go into figuring out things that you can do and solutions that you can implement into your life that's really going to help bring forth change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, remember, you deserve to be in a healthy relationship with with any, the man or woman who respects you and treats you well.
Yeah.
So if you keep attracting cheating men or women, it is time to take some action to change your pattern. So with time and effort, you can break that cycle and find the love that you deserve. So be conscious and cautious of that as well. That we all do deserve someone out here that loves us.
Yeah.
But at the same token, you can't get that unless you love yourself first.
Yeah.
So like my wife said, if you all need, we provide consulting services and, as far as, relationship and self-help. So if you all
solution oriented, focused.
We're solution focused.
Yeah.
So if you all would love that, please check out the wifeconomics.com website in which you can schedule a consultation with us.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't, then by all means, and you need help, you need to talk to someone, a mentor or maybe a family member who's in a good relationship or what have you, so they can help guide you to where you want to be in life.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be broken in order to find, happiness in life, or think that, something needs to be wrong before I go and talk to somebody or get help. Because really you need to use these opportunities as a preventative measure. So that you're better equipped to handle any challenge that comes your way.
Yes.
So that's what we're able to help you with. And maybe also too, you may have a professional counselor or what have you, or a family member who you're doing these type of things with, because it takes a third party a lot of time to actually review us and then tell us where our shortcomings are. But we also have to be able to take that criticism and then also make those changes that we need to do within ourselves.
Yeah.
So to have better outcomes.
Yeah. I just love the idea of mentors in particular because it helps you save time. You really a mentor can help, especially one that's in alignment with what you want. A mentor can help get you there faster because in a way you hop onto the vibration and alignment because they're giving you the information from that source, from that alignment, that place that you want to be at. So yeah, be receptive of that for sure.
I guess that's the show. If anybody got any questions, comments,
I know.
anything?
Sometimes we be like, why ain't nobody saying nothing? But I hope that means that you guys are getting something from this and you're really just taking it in because that's really what it's for. We're here for that. But we like to talk to
any topics. If you all want to hear any other additional topics that you would like for us to cover, by all means, please send it our way. We'll be readily available to do it any show, any given show. So
these are some great questions for real that be coming up. That's all I really base the topics off of is questions for the most part now. So that's really cool. So keep them coming. Ask some nice, whatever you guys come to mind. Wifeconomics.com. You can submit the question up there anonymously as well. You can send it to our comments, Yeah.
All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, so you all have a wonderful night, and we really appreciate you all. Please like and subscribe our videos on YouTube. Until next time, you all have a good night.